Hey, I'm Lex from Cyrus Gaming. I'm the editor in chief, and I have here two great guys from the team. I have here Erickson, our managing editor, and then I have here Conrad, who's the reviewer of Dispatch. So today we're going to be discussing about Dispatch. It's an episodic game from Ad Hoc Studio, formed by a team made up of Telltale game developers, and that's something we want to discuss. So, Conrad, just want to ask, how was the game?
After playing the first four episodes of the game, I could say one thing. This is me saying I love it in a way that I really love. As a fan of sitcom TV shows and games. This one tops it all for being one of the best narratives that I ever played for this year.
I get that too, because I played the game, Erickson played the game, and we all, I believe, all of us have the same thought about the game too, including especially the narrative. So, Conrad, can you
Storytelling is amazing.
exactly? It's been a while since I've got hooked up in an episodic game like this, and then the last one was with the Batman Telltale game series. It was freaking amazing. I hate myself for not playing the Wolf Among Us, so I'm playing
You
that.
better fix that.
Definitely. Definitely, because I need to know what happens. I mean, I never watched any gameplay of The Wolf Among Us, but I don't want to get sidetracked in the topic. Let's go back to Dispatch. So, Conrad, can you tell us a synopsis of what Dispatch is all about?
This patch tells of a hero named Mecha Man, who suddenly was forced to retire or forced to semi-retire after an incident where his suit was destroyed in the game. Now, he was given an offer to become a hero again, but before doing so, has to take on a role as an operator to dispatch heroes working under the SDN, the Superhero Dispatch Network. Now, the game you think is going to be pure action and adventure, but I'm going to tell you, this game has also has a mix of sitcom comedy genres. Like, you, if you're a fan of the Invincible series, it's like Invincible and The Office mixed together in one game.
Mm.
And the thing is, you'll be interacting not with heroes, but villains who are trying to be heroes. And that's the fun part because you don't know what to do in this type of situation. And when I played this game, I was actually laughing a lot on their reactions, on their interactiveness, and also the gameplay.
Yeah,
So
it's like a mixed blend. I mean,
Agree.
imagine Eric and Conrad, it's suicide. You're working in suicide with the Suicide Squad, like
Basically,
basically. I mean,
you're the one dispatching them, telling them where to go.
yeah,
Who is best suited for it, quote unquote. It's all up to you. You're the manager. You're the guy. So everything falls on you.
it's true. Because here's what I believe. That's actually a great direction. In my opinion, because you want to have that kind of banter between villains. It's these people, these super villains who wants to wanna change their course of their lives as to become superheroes, right? Then they still have that personality where they are very stubborn, arrogant, and doesn't really want to listen to you, and that's what makes it fun in a way, and probably how to handle those kinds of people. So, Conrad, based on the decisions you made, um does it really in a way work the same way as the the old Telltale games, like the last of I mean, sorry, not the Last of Us, but the Walking Dead, or Tales of the Borderlands, or something like that?
well, the thing is, based on after playing this game after a couple of hours for each chapter, I felt that the what we call the nexus of choices,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what choice we pick, it doesn't seem to have a different ending. It just has a same consequence. I, don't-
Mm.
I feel like that's one of the things that needs to be addressed about the game, personally, in my opinion. But yeah,
So
I
far,
think
I
so
like to see
far,
it so far. Yes.
so far, but yeah, this is the choices. No matter what you pick, there's not much consequence in it.
Just
I
like
mean, what I think what you meant to say, Conrad, is like there is no big variance to the choices. The story flows the same way. Every
Yes,
event is like already predetermined. It's just how different approach that the choice that you make
yes, and it's
made.
actually like
Yes.
that. But also, I felt like the certain choices that we thought that would be a big factor of the game
mm-hmm.
turns out they are actually minority, and I kind of bit felt disappointed about it.
We only played, just letting you guys know, for those who are listening to us in this podcast, is that we played already episode 3 and 4, and right now the only episodes that are out at the moment is episode 1 and 2. So we're going to be only discussing that front, and we'll be talking about episode 3 and 4 next week once those episodes come out. So I kind of wanted to like address that part where it's like the illusion of choice. It feels like you have control, but entirely but in reality you don't. There was one segment there where also felt disappointed that, like, we're already diving on spoiler territory here, and the game is, we recorded this before the game is out, but we're releasing this podcast like hours and hours and hours after the game is launched, so at least it gives you guys time to play the game and experience the story. But there's one section there in the game where I kind of felt disappointed because I wanted Invisigal not really to slam the donut on the computer, but even though I tried to make sure that I choose which dialogue to make sure that she may not do that, it still ended up the same way. Like, question would be, how would it be totally different if Invisigal didn't really slam the donut on Mecha Man's PC or computer or keyboard or
I would
whatever,
agree with that. Well,
right?
because Telltale Games, right? They have an entire history of making choices, people remembering all your choices,
Mm-hmm.
and then suffering the consequences of your actions. But here, in this game, like, it doesn't matter what you choose. It's just a different way of saying that. Yeah, you're still going to get the donut on your PC. It's just gonna be a matter of how, right?
Or better
Yeah.
yet, what flavor of the donut would be on that piece?
Oh yeah, what flavor? That's the only difference, and that choice happens like few more scenes before that, during the when Invisigal tried to like go to Granny's donut place, and when she asked like which donut flavor do you want. I mean, I know the point where Invisigal considered of giving you one. That was the main point there. But it would have been nice to actually have full control on how Invisigal would have treated that situation, and that's probably where I felt disappointed that I didn't have that choice. I didn't have that control.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Conrad? Like, Erickson said his piece. How about you, Conrad? About that, do you agree with that kind of direction? Is there any like probably your insight about that I might not have seen, or probably
Actually, I would have to agree with Erickson on that point. Like, I thought that the choices that we make have consequences, but in this game, I only see little consequences.
mm,
And I know this is like the first two episodes that I played, but I'm frankly quite disappointed because in previous games that are using a narrative genre, every choice that you make has a consequence or has a certain outcome that you would not expect. But here, it was just only one outcome that comes out of nowhere.
right?
That's it.
Mm.
But there are consequences too, based on, let's say, that bar scene, right, with Flambe. So if you choose to throw him an alcohol, then he would burn up and then lose his eyebrows. While if you throw him water, he slips and then bumps his head on the counter and then loses his tooth. So, I mean, that was fun, but I never really saw much difference on the interaction that much when it comes to like the banter between the other supervillains. But yeah,
Mm.
but hopefully it can be addressed in the further episodes past episode 1 and 2. So in terms about the gameplay, is there something that you find, let's say, lacking, Conrad? Because I also have my own set of opinions about the gameplay, but since you reviewed the game, how's the core gameplay mechanics aside from we've already talked about the dialogue and the illusion of choice? How about like
Okay.
actual gameplay?
Uh, okay. So playing this game, I saw that there is one thing that lacked, and that is exploration about the world of Dispatch. Like in other narrative games, we get a chance to interact with other characters.
Mhm.
That's actually uh, how we get to know better the full lore of the game or of a story. But unfortunately, here in Dispatch, it's just straight up going straight to the story and not interacting with items, with objects, or better yet, with other characters who will be relevant in your story. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things that I felt lackluster about the game.
Mhm. How about you, Eric?
Mm,
Not only that,
go ahead.
I would say another thing is that each episode is short.
Right.
It's
We
kind
can
of
get back to that. That's
yeah.
gonna be a good discussion. So, like, let me circle to Eric. Like, what do you think about the entire core gameplay mechanic of the game? Like, you know, compared to like the previous Telltale games.
So when it comes to gameplay, I liked it very much because it was initially because it was fresh and that yeah, it was unique in a way that you haven't seen done in other games.
Mm-hmm.
Ito pa. But when you play it a second time or a third time and you see all the choices draw out and the luster it just fades after that. And Conrad brought up the point that in other Telltale games that you could talk to other people like around you, like
Mm-hmm.
even like a brief interlude between actions. Like imagine if your guy, right, Mecha Man, he talked around to the others around the cubicles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he got their opinion about his Z team. Wouldn't that be interesting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is like I feel like a missed opportunity for me. They could still bring it back with like very strong story. They're already knocking it out of the house with the story,
Mhm.
but like subsequent playthroughs, you just feel like it's just lost. It's just lost momentum after that. It's just filling out choices of what you didn't do, and then they just look the same after that.
Right.
There you go.
Right. I agree. I agree with that point, Eric, because it's fresh. I like it. The choices feel so homage with the typical Telltale games, but the SDN part gameplay is something that familiar because I've played 911 Operator before. It kind of felt the same way, and answering those calls from people asking for help. If the thing about that gameplay though, however, is not for me the best thing there. Instead of compared to like compared to like just sending out the superheroes, the supervillains to those calls or to those events, is the banter between the characters. This is where like it gives out more, let's say, character building than between like how a person reacts, like Flambe, like Invisigal, Coop, Sonar, all of those people. I like it. I love it. And then yeah, it's only good for one playthrough. If you wanna like go back to it and like choose all the other options, some dialogues will change. Some outcomes may change. However, it doesn't feel yet that every decision that we make has that very big impact to the story yet. Except for something that
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to discuss for episode 3 and 4, but we can't yet. So yeah,
Stay tuned to a review of episode 4 to
episode 3,
find out.
episode 3 and 4, yes. So yeah,
Would be right.
so going back to a core gameplay mechanics, it's fresh and new. It's just that a second playthrough might be disappointing for people, especially expecting that the people who worked with this game are the developers from from Telltale games. So yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about the what was that again, Conrad, the one that you mentioned earlier, that I kind of wanted to circle back.
I want to discuss how short the
Yeah,
episodes were.
the episode were, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So Conrad, let's start with you first. You said you were a bit disappointed with the length of the game. Why is that?
For each episode. Most narrative games that I've played, usually each episode lasts at least like 1.5 to 2 hours. But this one, I managed to play each episode for at least 30 to 40 minutes, and that kind of you know was a bit disappointing because they could have done a lot better considering the fact that they used to work for another major company and could have put their skills to better use. Not only that, they had a star-studded cast of voice actors in which I could see them develop more in this game. Like, for example, did most of you guys know that the protagonist, Mecha Man, is voiced by the one from Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Jesse.
Aaron Paul. Aaron Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And now you know. And
you
now they know.
Now they
Yeah,
know.
so-
Yeah. Dude, the performance of Aaron Paul is, I don't know, he's stoic, like
Dude.
emotionless approach, but damn, I like it. It fits right well with the character.
Yes, the deadpan eyes, like the resigned look, every single part. Dude,
Yes,
yeah,
dude,
He's
that's
really
best
sold
thing.
that part. Yes.
Exactly. But before we talk about, voice acting and such, let's go back to the length of the story. Go ahead. And we're just very excited, right? Talking about like the voice actors. But yeah, Conrad, go ahead.
But yeah, they could have done a lot considering that the voice actors they chosen for this game are star-studded, including from the one from Breaking Bad, Aaron Paul. But with these cast of characters, you would expect that they put out a big performance in a game. But in reality, we only got like only 30 minutes worth of story for each episode, and they could have done better if they would have made the story a bit longer.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, they might be saving the best for last, Conrad. Did you consider that? Right?
It can be
Yeah.
possible, yeah. Like a season
possible.
finale.
For an
It could be
explosive
possible.
finish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be, but come on, every game must have a first impression on the first part of the game, because if you are playing a game, you need to have a good impression at the start. Not we don't expect people always to see that the big impression always happens in the middle, but sometimes it usually starts at the beginning, and that should be something that they should consider carefully.
Well,
That
here's
is
the thing.
true, but I have a counter to that.
Yeah.
This guy, this Mecha Man, right?
Yeah.
He's already lost practically everything. He even lost his dad's suit. So, what after the intense fight in the beginning, or let's say intense, but almost one-sided. But yeah, he lost everything. So I wouldn't expect there to be, especially if you're going out to a new job. Wouldn't think it would be that exciting for you to go for action and all that good stuff agad when you're trying to settle down to a job, right? And that's what they're trying to portray, right? Him starting out anew on this job while he's
Actually, from what
getting
I
a
see,
project, right?
from what I'm seeing, he's based on the first part. We're getting a bit of he's trying to recover from his loss.
Yes. And he needs this job to do it because that's what they're offering. But he
Yep.
doesn't. But he doesn't like it. Obviously, he's just doing it for an ends to a means to an end.
Yeah, that's true.
And I kind of get that. Especially if you're just going to do something just for the sake of it's a job, right?
Yeah,
I get that.
So I believe what Conrad might be trying to say is that it's not entirely with the story trying not to hook you in the first episode. It's more of like the length, like trying to be more expounded in a way where, he wants it longer than just a typical 30-minute per episode. But here's what I've noticed. They release 2 episodes a week. So basically, that's an hour. We consider probably episode 1 and 2 as episode 1, and then episode 3 and 4 might be episode 2, and then 5 and 6 might be episode 3. Right? Because if you want to go for like really an hour and then they release episodes like just 1 episode per week, then that's very much, something I can understand. But since they're releasing 2 episodes a week, then that's basically an hour of gameplay, isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
It feels like it's like a part A to a part B in an episode.
yeah, something like
Like that
that. Yeah.
from an episodic series. It's a part and a B part
Mhm.
every single time. That's what they're releasing it as.
So yeah, trying to understand our approach. So probably right now I would understand where, some people might say like every episode is just very short, but in reality it's not, because if you consider episode 1 and 2 as episode 1, that's still an hour, because they release the episode like 2 episodes a week. But if we follow this, like, just because you have an option where it's purely cinematic without any let's say quick time events, it's basically like a cartoon series, right? Like per episode, where it's just basically 20 to 40 minutes, so something like that. So yeah, lengthwise I would say it's pretty much, I'm fine with the length, especially if I play it without a QTE, so that at least, like, yeah, I'm watching a series where I have I have the choice to change the dialogue and everything, and probably the outcome, the story, and a bit of gameplay where I send him off to distress calls and everything. But aside from that, what I believe is really the strongest suit of Dispatch is its story, characters, and the voice actors, and probably even the world, because there's a superhero out there that's basic alien. So yeah, but
Yes,
what do you
I
think?
can see this spinning off into other games.
Yeah,
I really can.
something like that. Yeah. So Conrad, what do you believe are the strongest suits of the game?
Comedic acts of the game. Like literally, the narrative itself is actually one of the strongest points, because we're combining an unexpected formula of superheroes, comedy, interaction, and out of nowhere, uh, mature content in a
Yeah.
different way. Like I said, this game is a combination of The Office meets Invincible, and that's actually one of their strongest points. That's actually one of the biggest appeals that I see of the game. Not only that, I like the fact that we have a chance to dispatch heroes through different maps, because most of the missions that you do in the dispatching part are various have various what I call this, rewards or consequences. Like for example, uh, you're dispatching someone to save or stop a baby kaiju. Now, if you fail that kaiju destroys a portion of the city and could easily injure or incapacitate one of your heroes. But if you set it right, it either you took care of that monster and ran away, or you adopt it as a pet. So some of the outcomes are unpredictable in dispatching, and that's another point that I really like about it.
Yeah. True. True. How about you, Eric?
In my opinion, the story is its strongest suit, and then its animation. The animation quality is great.
Ah, yes. It's
Then afterwards, the gameplay, yes. So you don't necessarily have to be perfect in your responses. You just need to adapt. Right? You have to just adapt to what you have, to who's available, and if you can make that work, the gameplay is very much enjoyable. At least on that regard.
Yeah, definitely. Because here's the thing, playing Dispatch, I've realized that the story is above all the best thing. The writing, the pacing is really there, and paired up with the really great voice actors and actresses like Aaron Paul, even Laura Bailey is here. Jacksepticeye is also here. Even Jeffrey Wright from The Batman. Commissioner
Oh, yeah.
Gordon. Yeah, it's also, dude, it's a star-studded cast, and I would say it's the best thing that they've done. They got the perfect cast, especially Aaron Paul. Everything is perfect in that regard. I love it, and that's the reason why I buy the game, because of the story, and also the voice actors, and the possible twists. It's something that I kind of wanted to discuss, but that's gonna be next week because those possible twists happens probably in 3 or 4, probably some hints. I don't know, but let's talk about our favorite characters. My favorite character is Royd. He's a very nice guy. The dude that's something during that bathroom scene where you decide to either fist bump with him or not. I cannot, in every bit of my fiber, not to be nice to him. I cannot do that. I cannot be nice to him. Sorry, I cannot be not nice to him. Nice to him. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's like it just I want to choose that to know what he reacts, but I can't. My finger always chooses to fist bump him. It's so nice. Like, fist bump here, brother. Damn, like who wants to be rude to Royd? Come on. But
You can't be rude to him. He's the friendliest guy that you ever know.
Yeah. So, yeah, probably the only thing that I kind of don't really understand, like, how is Blonde Blazer attracted to Mecha Man? That's something I like, something I want to figure out.
Probably we'll be seeing it in the later episodes.
Yeah, we will. But the looks and everything. I mean, she leaned on him during the tutorial phase and everything. It's like, it's just, I don't know what's with Mecha Man. I mean, he's a slim dude. I mean, he's cool and all, but yeah, not
he's a real one.
Yeah, like, he doesn't have power. He's not Bruce Wayne, but he's not also Henry Cavill like looking kind of person. But I'm still wondering, like, But yeah. So your favorite character, guys. Let's start off with Conrad. Who's your favorite character?
Can I say beef?
Oh, come on. Who wouldn't love beef?
That's cheating, Conrad.
Why? You can't say no to a dog.
Yeah.
I'm beef and I love being naked.
So beef is that?
No. Okay, to be serious, my favorite so far would be what I call this? Invincible.
Oh,
You want to know why? You want to know why?
You have a thing for lost causes, huh?
No. He's the type of person I would relate to because you would look at the person and see that she thinks that everybody has given up on her and that she wants to try to prove herself, pero she feels like the more she tries, the more people will be disappointed. But I think I could relate that she only needs a little push to do better, and that's something that you could learn a lot from a life story.
That is fair.
True. I agree. I mean, understanding Invisible's rebellious phase, it's something that I really also wanted to explore in the game, and that's shown already a bit probably in the next few episodes, but who knows. But the strong personality of Invisible is something that we want to see develop in the series. I mean, I also want to see like how Sonar does, Coop, and the others, especially Flambe, knowing that both of him and Mecha Man had a history together. But hopefully that's something that could be explored in the next few episodes. So something I'm gonna be excited for.
Yes.
So how about you, Eric?
Mecha Man speaks to me the most. Most
Are you sure?
deadpan, not so serious yet serious at the same time, but also the most helpful person there, the most grounded person in the entire company, you can say. Compared to the larger than life personalities that go around him every single time, he's just a guy, not Bruce Wayne, not Henry Cavill. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
He's very relatable there. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what's the great thing about Dispatch too, because the character themselves, they're not like your typical like superhero person who doesn't have powers, who's really good in martial arts or anything, or probably super intelligent, or probably super rich. No, he's a dude with a suit where he's not
He
entirely that.
inherited his dad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he poured everything into that suit only for it to be destroyed
Destroyed.
and yeah, lost the
Exactly.
symbol of the city. And he feels responsible for that.
Yeah. So imagine that. It's not your Tony Stark. It's not your Bruce Wayne. So it's a person that we all could relate to because we could probably be in that situation too. You know, like what if we inherited our dad's machine, but we're not rich. We don't like billions of dollars in our banks. No, we don't even have insurance or anything. But yeah, we have a suit. We help people. We help the community. But with that particular battle against like one of our arch nemesis, and then our suit gets destroyed, we're left with nothing. We basically lost everything, right? So that's where I totally agree in that point, Eric. He's the most grounded person there and the most balanced person that any superhero could ever think of, because either the superhero is either arrogant or probably full of themselves. But Aaron, even though he's well regarded by people in the community because of, with his suit, especially with his Mecha Man suit, it's something that all of us can relate to. So, yeah. So I want to ask final question to both of you. Conrad, what do you think of the overall experience with episode 1 and 2?
It is actually amazing how this game truly is. I'm amazed that the story has developed so far, but I feel like it's leaving us hanging with the first two episodes because it makes me want to know what's going to happen in the next few episodes. And if I were to say, this game is worth getting and enjoying at the same time.
Mm. How about you, Eric?
So for me, episode one and two started really slow. It started to pick up by the time that you go to episode two. At the end of the episode, that's when everything starts clicking for the game. At least for me, everything that this is trying to do, like all the moral conundrums, right there, everything is already known. So we're getting to the point that things are getting interesting. That's at least I could say for episodes 3 and 4. Yeah.
So
look forward to that, guys.
yeah, look forward to episode 3 and 4 next week, and let's see what happens, because I believe episode 1 and 2 is a really great start. It's a really great appetizer for the next few episodes. I agree that it's a very big cliffhanger, or not really cliffhanger, but it wants you to know more about the story after episode 2, and that's where, just like what Eric said, it gets to pick up after episode 2. We're not gonna dive in deeper yet in episode 3 and 4 because we already played it. Just to let you guys know, we already played, but we are not yet allowed to discuss about episode 3 and 4. But yes, all of us are excited for episode 5 to 8. We've played episode 3 and 4, and we cannot say anything yet, but what we want to say is, like, definitely buy episode 1 and 2. I mean, definitely buy the game Dispatch, because it's worth it. You'll love the story, while there are like a few bits where you may feel like disappointed, like probably the gameplay where you can't really just explore like the old Telltale games. That's fine, because what we're here for in Dispatch is the story, the characters, and the world. When I say like Lex, so what do you mean world? You can explore anywhere. But here, that's the thing. Stories, like even in films and in series, there's always going to be that world building in a way through characters and through the development of the story, and that's something that we want to see in Dispatch explore in the next few episodes. And I just hope that they are considering a season 2 for this game.
Agreed.
A season 2, yeah. Just playing 4 episodes already, I just wish that there's gonna be a season 2. At least considering season 2. And I hope that this game is a success. I hope the other publication also, feels the same way as us. But yeah, it's a great story. It's a great game. Great cast of characters, especially Aaron Paul and Jeffrey White and Laura Bailey. Yeah. I cannot give out a score yet. We're not allowed yet to give a score, but just a personal opinion, not a publication, not a Cyrus Gaming score. I would personally give it a 7 or 8. just because of
I
the
would
story.
agree. I would agree with that score. It's mostly 7 to 8.
Hmm. But it
I
doesn't
would give it
mean,
a flat 7.
yeah,
It's not. I don't. It's not giving it like a bad 7. It's a very very highly recommended 7 for me.
yeah. 7
It
again,
just
guys.
needs to show. It just needs to show more of itself to me before I can say fully. Yeah, this deserves a higher score.
Yeah, I agreed. But for now, 7 or 8, or 7 for Eric, 7 or 8 for Conrad, 7 or 8 for me. Um, but again, 7 is not a bad score, guys. It's not. Whoever thinks
course.
7 is a bad score, it's not a bad score. It's a good score. It's a recommend. There's just things that you may want to consider because people may not want, or some people may not like probably the approach or anything. But for us, it's good enough. That it warrants a buy. It warrants to be in your library. Does it entirely mean that there are gonna be things in the game that you may there might be things in the game that you may not like. That's it. But if you're here for the story, for the cast of characters, it's an easy 8, easy 9. But if you want to like compare it to like all Telltale games, then that's probably where we need to like give you the proper expectation that it's not your typical Telltale game. The focus here is the story, the characters, and basically what the world of Dispatch is, and that's it. And if you're in for that, that's an easy buy for you. But if you're not, then probably wait for a sale or not. But for me, even though if you expect it to be a Telltale game, just buy it because we believe it's worth the money. That's it. So, Eric and Conrad, thank you for this wonderful podcast. And I hope to see you guys again next week to discuss about episode 3 and 4.
Yay!
I am very excited for that.
Excited
I'm
for
most
that too.
excited.
Yep. All right. Thank you
I
guys.
am hoping that this game will be legit.
It is. I mean, it's already a legit game.
When I say legit, I meant legit in a way that says it will really appeal to my senses of taste.
Oh. Okay. All right. I get you. Anyway, thank you guys for you listeners out there. If you guys want to read our impressions of the game, it's on cyrusgaming.com. That's SIRUS gaming.com, and you can see Conrad's review in progress right there. We'll update the review, and then we will have a full season review with the score once it's fully out on November 12th. Again, thank you guys for listening. I'm Lex, the editor-in-chief. We have Erickson, the managing editor, and Conrad, our contributor, who wrote the review for Dispatch.